Hi folks, this is Vivek from ExamVictor.com. In this video, we'll be talking about the Common Law Aptitude Test or CLAT. I'm going to just call it CLAT for the rest of the video. This video will be talking about the exam pattern and some basics also on how to prepare for CLAT. My email ID is given here, vivek@examvictor.com. If you have any thoughts, doubts, comments or feedback on this video or any other that we have put up, do send me a note and I'd be happy to hear from you. What we're going to look at in this video is first we'll talk about some basics of the CLAT. I'll show you the subjects and the mark distribution for these subjects. We'll do a detailed topic-wise breakdown of each of these subjects. And finally, I'll give you a recommended study plan. This is going to be high level, but it should help you get started. So some basics first. As promised, CLAT, which I've already explained the full form of, is conducted by the 17 national law universities. 17 is as of 2016. It could go up because the government is opening more NLUs each year. But as of now, there are 17 NLUs and they together conduct the CLAT. This exam is for admission to the 5-year LLB programs of these 17 NLUs. Very importantly, NLU Delhi does not come under CLAT. Okay, so CLAT is not for admission to NLU Delhi. NLU Delhi conducts a separate exam called AILET, A-I-L-E-T. This is a separate exam, right? It's a different exam, and preparation for this is similar to CLAT but not the same. Okay, it's a different exam. So NLU Delhi is not covered by CLAT. The remaining NLUs are all included within CLAT. Now CLAT is only for 5-year LLB programs, which means students after class 12th are going to be the ones giving CLAT. Now Supreme Court has passed a ruling which says that nobody can be stopped from writing a law entrance exam, so there cannot be an upper age limit for CLAT also, which is fine. But since it is a 5-year LLB program, you would not find many graduates opting for this exam because they have already spent 3 years studying something else, 3 or 4 years. So they would not want to do an undergraduate plus an LLB, which is what CLAT offers. Usually CLAT is held in May each year. And registration starts in January or February. The process is completely online. It's very simple. It's very smooth and straightforward. And you can start doing it by visiting the CLAT website, clat.ac.in. That's where you'll get all the latest updates. Exam normally happens in May. Now, another important thing that you should remember is that many other law universities in India, they accept CLAT scores. So if you have written the CLAT, you can take your score of CLAT and go to that university, and they might accept your score and give you admission on the strength of that. Which universities accept? So this is a thing that I would not like to answer in this video because 1, I don't want to endorse any university over any other, and 2, that is a constantly changing list of names. So it's better if you do your own homework here. It's very simple. If either you can call up the university or it should be mentioned on their website. Some more basics, some more facts about the CLAT. Right now, this is as of 2016. There are around 2200 seats available through CLAT across the 17 NLU campuses. These 2200 seats are across all categories, right? So it's general plus all the reserved categories as well. They are all put together around 2200 seats. So as you can imagine, the competition is quite high and the number of seats available are quite low. Now, of these 2200, are all the seats equal? No, they are not. Just like in everything else, there is a ranking system, right? There is a ranking system. Some NLUs are perceived to be better than other NLUs. Now, which NLU is the best is a question that is hotly debated, and I definitely am not the most expert person on this topic. But what I can do is tell you the top 5 NLUs. This is as per almost every source on the internet and every person or every student you ask. These are the names you would hear. Within these, which is first, which is second, which is third? There you would have to ask people, and honestly every person you ask would give you a different answer. What I can tell you is that if you get a seat in any of these top 5, you can consider yourself to be very fortunate because all these NLUs are fantastic. They're great. We're talking about Bangalore, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Bhopal and Jodhpur. Any of these five, if you get admission, you should certainly congratulate yourself because these are fantastic universities to study law. Now let's come to the marks distribution in a CLAT. The way the marks are distributed is that around 25% of the paper, 25% is legal aptitude, another 25% is GK and current affairs, right? So 1/4 is here and another 1/4 is here. Half the paper, literally half the paper, is from legal aptitude and GK current affairs. So this goes to show how important these two topics are for CLAT. English is another big chunk, 20%. Logical reasoning, another big chunk, 20%. Maths is actually the least important. It's the least important because it's only 10%. Now let's come to the usual pattern of the CLAT paper, the usual pattern. Now I've underlined usual pattern because this is a video that was shot when this was the pattern. If pattern has changed, we'll update this content. But this is as per the latest information we have, right? This is an objective online paper and it has to be answered at a computer. Okay, so CLAT is an online paper. It is objective and you do have to answer it at a computer. There is no paper or pen involved. You would have to go to a center. So this is not something you can give at home. You go to a testing center and give it. But the whole exam is online. CLAT has 200 questions, 2 hours, and there is negative marking. It is +1 minus 0.25. So you get +1 for a right answer and you lose a quarter of a mark for a wrong answer. Importantly, there are no sectional cutoffs, only overall cutoffs, and the overall cutoff score is also not fixed. It's not a fixed 40% or something. It very much depends on how tough the paper is. If the paper is very tough, the cutoff would be low and vice versa. Now let's look at a detailed topic-wise breakdown. These are the major topics that you would have to look at in legal aptitude and constitution, which you remember is a huge part of the CLAT syllabus, 25%. This is all the stuff that you need to know. You need to know the Indian Constitution. You need to know important sections of the IPC and the CRPC. For all of these, the Law of Tort, Contract Act, Criminal Law, Hindu Marriage Act, you do not need to know the text. I've had so many students ask me this, that sir, should we memorize actual passages of the Law of Tort or the entire contract law? No, you don't. You really don't need to. Remember, CLAT is an exam that is selecting you to become or to make you a lawyer. If you already had to memorize all these, then what will you do in the LLB, right? So these are, you don't have to memorize the text of the law. What you have to understand is the spirit of the law, the spirit. Okay, and this is what we try to teach the same thing in our courses also, that how do you interpret the important tenets of the criminal law, of the Hindu Marriage Act, of any of these. What is the spirit or what is the logic behind these laws? And we try to illustrate them with a lot of simple examples. Even in the exam, that's what you'll see actually. The legal aptitude questions, the aptitude part, is that they give you a case, they give you a simple example and they ask you to apply one of these laws. So if you understand the basic principles of the spirit behind the law, then you will be able to answer those questions very easily. In addition, you should also know legal maxims and some law-specific GK. Coming to GK and current affairs, obviously a knowledge of Indian history and Indian and world geography is a must. It is compulsory. You should also have a good command over sports, arts and literature, UN bodies. This is a special favorite topic. Science, economics and international relations. Nothing much to say here. It is an overall understanding of whatever has happened in the past 1 year, plus a good knowledge of Indian history, Indian geography, world geography, right? Not easy. It's a huge amount of portion to cover. So another place where a course can help, what we do in our own course is that we give monthly digests to all our students, and we summarize the entire month, all the important happenings into about 5 to 7 pages, so that it's easy for you as a student to understand and to relate and even to memorize these facts. If I ask you to read the newspaper every day and memorize the entire newspaper, that is a waste of your time. So we do this In addition, we have very good material for history, for geography, for sports, all these things. The important facts that one must know, we already cover them. For English, these are the major topics that we see. These are the things that we see for English. These are the major topics that we see in the CLAT exam. RC, idioms and phrases, synonyms, antonyms, fill in the blanks, para jumbles, foreign language phrases. Each of these is important. Of course, RC is the most important. It's a huge chunk of marks within the English section. Cannot be ignored. And all the rest of these are quite important. So getting good exposure to as many of these as possible, super important. Coming to logical reasoning, nothing, no surprises here. The same things that you would expect in any logical aptitude exam. Puzzles, direction problems, blood relations, coding, decoding, syllogisms, analogies, all of these, the usual things. Finally, the maths portion, which is the least, okay, the least. It is 10%, right? If you remember from the pie chart, it is only 10%. You need to remember that you need to know only till 10th class level maths. Don't go beyond that, okay? Now, in CLAT 2015, there were some questions on P and C and probability. So accordingly, even in our course, we have added these topics. But in 2016 CLAT, you can ask any of the students, the 2016 CLAT did not really have any tough questions on P and C or probability. So was it an aberration? Was it a once-off thing? Is it going to be repeated? Anybody's guess. So in addition to these, in our course, we've also added probability and permutations and combinations, P and C. They are there in the course, but right now nobody knows if that was a one-off thing or if CAT plans to repeat them. We have it anyway. So in addition to what you see written here, there is going to be some material on these also. Now, an overall recommended study plan. From the pie chart, you remember from the pie chart, the entire right half is law stuff and GK stuff, right? So accordingly, that's where you should focus your time. These two together, this is 25%, this was 25%. These two together are half your CLAT syllabus and they are half your marks. So at least they should get half your time, right? So legal aptitude, constitution, static GK, current affairs, spend as much time as you can. Get really familiar, get comfortable. The maths part, if you've been reasonably regular in your school stuff, you'll not find it hard. So that is another 10% that you can just put in your pocket. Logical reasoning and English can be practiced. It does not need as much time as these topics. So definitely spend more time here. Now, if you've been confused by this video and if you think that this is all a bit overwhelming, not to worry. So we conduct a very, very comprehensive course for CLAT. All of this, everything that we've just now talked about is covered, and a few more things also, especially things that we don't like to trumpet too much, but I think our students find it very, very helpful. We have a set of unique tips and tricks, which we've been told over the years our students really appreciate it and it really saves them a lot of time. So that is also part of our course. All you need to do is visit our website, ExamVictor.com. That's ExamVictor.com. And you will be able to get the link to our CLAT course and take it from there. Okay, to wrap up, what all have we seen in this video? We looked at the basics of CLAT. I talked about the subject and marks distribution. We looked at the pie chart, right, with all the sections. We did a detailed topic-wise breakdown of what you can expect to see. And finally, I gave you a very high-level suggested study plan on how you can attack the CLAT syllabus. This is Vivek. Thanks for watching.